I'm Sabrina Macho, and I was the co-director for this project.
My name is Denise Cordova. I am currently a co-director of a short movie project.
My name is Marco Magno, or Magno. I've been in charge of the set design and lighting for this project.
Hello, my name is Joe Palermo. I am the sound designer for our independent film projects, I guess.
Like basically what the structure of the sets is going to be as far as the characters and the cameras moving through space.
If we have one house and then a garden in between with fences, it's sort of a little bit British.
Pretty far along. Alright, so...
Just like a big object that has like the placement of everything. Maybe you can even use it
where I was trying to do drawings and sketches to know what we want to have the character look like, and then from then on we moved into actually putting it together, which Nicole provided the body types and I put on the face or the facial design, and then we moved on to modeling it in 3D software, ZBrush, to do the basic mesh, and actually more so to do also the high poly, not only the basic. And from then I used Maya a lot to do the textures and a lot of rigging and texturing. That was the final part.
My task was already to sort of have sketches and things from the very beginning, to have an idea, quite a clear idea of what we wanted. So this kind of medieval town, but in contemporary era. And the team agreed on that kind of style. And so I decided to build, I had some models already I've been working on, so I tried to build, tweak some of those and plus to build new ones. It's got a lot of, if you go back to the renderings, you can see some, points when you can walk around. I would keep this one even.
Well, the storyline was really the most collaborative efforts of the entire team. We met in a room and basically sat down for around 3 or 4 hours and worked out a story that we could all agree on. Basically, this story is about a new take on the universal symbols of love and relationships. So in our story, the protagonist is a woman who looks a little bit older, like she's in her 40s or 50s. And you can see that she's been on she's been on a journey, and attached to her wrist is actually a ribbon. And we don't know what this ribbon means at the beginning of the story, but we see that she really is pensive and she contemplates it a lot. And we meet her on the outskirts of this town, and we see her with like a very determined look on her face and kind of hopeful as she goes into this town. And then once she goes in, we start seeing that everyone in this town has ribbons just like her, only that they're different colors. And so from there we understand that she's looking for this her soulmate who's gonna essentially have the same color ribbon as her on her wrist. And then at one point in the story, she glimpses a passerby who has potentially the same color ribbon as her, and she starts chasing him, and then at one point she loses him, and that's really the lowest point of the story. She was so close to getting and achieving her dreams, but she failed nonetheless. And then by some miracle or by some destiny, she bumps into this man that she first glimpsed, and she sees that they have the same color ribbon. And the audience would think that this would be the perfect point to end the story. This is where they're finally together and they're going to live out the rest of their years with these two ribbons tied to each other, and that's where the title of the film comes in, Tied. But what surprisingly enough is we see them for a little while, they're walking, they're talking together, and then the man starts to kind of be self-absorbed into his own little world. He keeps talking and talking, but he no longer cares whether the woman is listening. And then eventually he keeps moving in front of the woman, and she stops. She decides that there's really nothing keeping the two of them together. She stops, and then her stopping and the man continuing to walk actually snaps the ribbon. And from that point, the woman just kind of gathers herself, and after some time thinking it over, she decides that she really doesn't need this ribbon, this symbol of the ribbon, to turn her into a better person or any other sort of person. So she actually does a really drastic thing as far as the universe of the story is concerned, and she unties the ribbon, and then she can move on with her life, and she has this huge weight lifted off her shoulders.
For the mocap, it was the work of the whole team. We set it up, motion capture software, or actually our faculty advisor Stefan set it up in a computer, the EP software, which we then used with the 2 Xbox Kinect cameras to capture various scenes from our movie. And we used the data that we captured, which was a very huge cloud of points that are then translated onto skeletons. So we moved that into the EP software, which then helped to generate a skeleton with all the keyframes, and we moved that back into Maya.
During the motion capture part of the animation, I was mostly the one acting out the pieces of the protagonists, like the really walk cycles and the major bodily movements. The facial expressions were done by Denisa, but everything body related was myself, and then Marco did the male protagonist's body motions. It was definitely something that it took some getting used to. We did a lot of test runs, and it took a lot of practice to get something to look normal.
No, I mean, just like, go on.
And we got the walking cycle, right? The walking cycle can be repeated, so we're good on that.
Establishing a setting within the film, I think, was probably my biggest creative problem. You know, there was a lot of constant questions, you know, when are we? Where are we? You know, who are our cultural, neighbors? What are we going to hear within the music? What are we going to hear? What instruments are we going to hear? Are we going to hear, a full orchestra? Do we have an orchestra yet? Are we in an orchestral time period? Are we jazzy? Who knows, And environmental things come from that too, Are there cars? Are there cows? Are there both? Who knows, These are all things that just kind of happen as they happen.
It was a really great experience, because it was one of the projects that for the first time we got to work as a studio environment rather than class environment. So that was very helpful and eyes-opening in a sense that it showed what we can expect when we go out into professional work.
Or I think it's a good opportunity for people to grow on their own feet instead of having projects in class with the professors there all the time and you're kind of dictating your work to what they want. This is really a chance for all of us to get together and say, okay, here are ideas, let's pick one, let's delegate, a task, let's communicate with each other, let's learn how to, bring an idea to a table to present ourselves in a way that, would be appealing to other people.
And animating things that you have in your mind. It's making different dreams come true, meaning your own personal dreams. You can see those, almost touch them.